we're happening. It's happening. We might need to scooch over. We could scooch the camera. Okay. All right. I looked up.
There we go. Perfect.
I looked up and I'm like, oh crap, it's 4:59.
It's time. We waited.
I don't have a beer and the radio's playing and we need to shut all that garbage off. And yeah. So hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for joining us for our Sunday live stream, Sunday night hang, Sunday happy hour. It is hot here. Now, this is where, hear that? It's not as hot as it is where I am. Fine. It's hot here to me. So, yeah. And it was hot yesterday. And it was extra hot because Brandon and I were outside all day putting in the new double doors to the wood shop. And we got most of everything done. We still have to do like trim and
minor things, a little bit of paint work.
Some pooty things.
Yeah,
caulk.
we need to pooty in some pooty.
Yeah, that's right.
Do some insulation.
Caulking, insulation.
Some foams, foam, rubber. Yeah.
We're going to do it all. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. You know why?
Because
I didn't have to help a whole lot with the door. I just got in the way. So I did other stuff.
No, but you worked on a lot of other cool stuff.
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't outside in the hot sun.
Yeah. And working with Brandon is basically like just handing him tools. Yeah. Brandon is like really strong and does that stuff all the time. Yeah. So really all I did was get in Brandon's way. Yeah. And he would like explain why we're doing stuff. And
yeah. Although I asked him, I said, was it harder than you thought? He was like, oh yeah, way harder.
Well, it's been a while since he's been a construction worker. He's a construction supervisor.
Well, now. And I think there was a lot of unique things that had happened to those doors previously that he wasn't expecting. Yeah. So I think that originally was a garage door that somebody had framed in.
That's right.
Poorly.
And
and put in some doors that were probably not really what they should have been.
Nothing was supposed to go with that stuff.
Yeah. So he got to redo all of that fun stuff.
Yes.
And so thanks to Brandon for doing that.
Yeah. So now we have nice new doors on the wood shop, and Chris and I are going to take a few days off this week, but we'll come back and we'll do some trim and some other stuff, and we're gonna swab out the paint booth. It needs a swabbing, and yeah. So what's been going on? You know what happened last night?
We sold that one guitar.
That's right. John in Arizona bought the
John V.
Yes.
Yeah.
That dude's cool. He's
kind of like John Boy, only with a V.
No, it's not like that at all. Because I don't think he lives on a farm.
Does he have a big mole on his face?
No, he doesn't.
He also.
So really, it's nothing like the Waltons.
Not a writer, as far as I know. Okay.
No. So, but except for his name is John. So yeah.
His last name starts with a V.
Yeah, which is also not like the Waltons. Because that starts with a W.
That's two V's.
Yeah, that's right. Put together. So John bought that guitar last night, and I am going to get with Ike from Flipside Music, the great American guitar store, and we're going to box it up and ship it off to him. Yep. So that was cool. That guitar is so unbelievably fun. That is one of the more fun guitars we've ever done.
Yeah. What makes it fun?
Well, it's super light and it's super like but like it's powerful too. It's got a neck that like I don't know, like it's littler than a 335, but it's got some of that flavor, and you can like hit some of those open chords with some gain, and it just sounds badass.
Yeah.
So
it rings against your body. It's fairly loud acoustically.
Yeah.
It's
and Monkey built the pickups for it. And
that's cool. I like that. This is really I think the first set of humbuckers that I've ever played that he's built.
Yeah, he's getting quite good.
He's done some single coils for me in the past, and those are always really good. But
if you guys are interested in some of Ian's lawsuit, cease and desist pickups, send me an email and I'll forward it to Ian. He might be able to hook you up with something good.
He might.
So it looks like we got a super chat from Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony, how are you doing, man? Tony, a couple of things. We are working. I got your carved top Challenger carved and fabric glued on. I'm working on your carve right now for your 14-inch scale guitar that I'm not going to say what it is because you know what it is. I know what it is. And I kind of want to keep it a secret. There was one other thing though. Oh, I sent you an invoice. If you want to come to the December class, let me know because I sent you an invoice, but I never got back from you. So I never heard back from you. So if you want to come to that, you certainly should. But if you want, let me know, and I'm going to open that up again because that's the last spot. So how are you doing, man? That's good to hear from you, Tony. What else, Chris? What else is happening?
That's about it. I mean, kind of business as usual. Looking forward to the first that's whatever the hell you want class in a couple weeks.
That's right. So starting on December, starting on July 19th, begins our very first We Dare You to Come Out Here. Well, I don't even know what we're calling it, but that's sort of the unofficial name that you and I have been calling it.
It's the If You're So Smart class.
Yeah.
And which I'm sure everybody is.
So, well, a lot of the guys have been here before.
Yeah.
So we know what they are like.
We've taught them well.
Well, we've taught them something. Yeah. And we go like this, Chris. See, we all have all 10 fingers. So but we've got one guy coming out to work on necks. One guy's coming out to do paint and body.
And do another body.
And we've got a couple people coming out to do like all sorts of really neat stuff.
Yeah. And that actually kind of brings up a cool point. One of the guys, Rod, is coming out to paint a project that he built in one of the previous classes. And then also continue with another project that he has going on. And we've been talking about, is that a cool way to maybe do some paint classes?
Yes, because there's so much downtime during a paint
class. Yeah. You come out at some other point and you build a classic set neck, or you build a classic bolt-on, and you there's no paint component in those classes. But then you come back some other time and you build during If You're So Smart class.
Yep.
Which everybody is after you take a class.
Duh.
And then you can do some paint, and you can also maybe start another project.
So that's a great idea. And you and I kind of been kicking this ball down the field a little bit. Tony, thank you very much, sir. We look forward to seeing you in December, amigo. I was going to say words that started with a sentence. We're actually gonna have two of those. We dare you to come build something, paint something, do something with us. And if you have a guitar that you did at, say, our Build a Classic set neck, and you want to come paint it, you'll be able to do that at the We Dare You to Come Out. But we've also added some other cool classes. And I want to update everybody before we jump into the actual meat and potatoes here. We have some administrative stuff we have to do. So recently we put 5 classes together for May of 2022. 3 of them are build and wind and assemble and solder and everything pickups with Dylan McCurchie from Dylan Talks Tone.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, what's going to be cooler than doing that, Chris?
Putting them in a guitar that you made the following week.
Right. So you'll be able to come out, wind pickups with Dylan. You'll come to the shop here, and I think it's like on 2 days, winding pickups.
Sunday.
Okay, and then the following week you get to build a guitar. Like so, for example, it was originally just going to be Build a Classic Telly.
Correct.
And then one of the Dangerous brothers, Dave,
Dastardly
said,
Dave
yes,
Dangerous.
He said, can I build a Jazzmaster with 2 P90s? And I'm like, well, crap. If it's the Telly class, then people are going to go. Because I can't say no to Dave, but I can't be like, well, you're the only one who gets to do it, because then other people are going to go, I wanted to make this.
If I'd known.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have Build a Classic Fender and Build a Classic Telly. It's going to be the same thing. So if you want to build a Telly, it'll be, this. And if you want to build some other thing, it'll be this. So there's only 5 spots for each Build a Guitar class,
right? But
you can do either Telly or really any Fender.
Yeah. And I would suggest to people that haven't been to a class here to do the Telly class.
Okay.
Just because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
All of it's a lot of work, and even the Telly class is a lot of work, and if you don't have a telly or if you like tellies, it's a cool class, and your success rate will be everybody's success rate will be good, but the telly class will be.
I agree that if you've never built an instrument before, you are hard pressed to find a better project to do than a Telecaster.
Yes.
But you and I have all of our classes are set up for success.
Yeah, and maybe that was the wrong way to approach that. But
it was the wrong way.
No,
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
But I think our Build a Classic Fender class was we had a bunch of guys who came. We had we had a deluxe, we had a Strat, we had a thin line, we had a bass, we had a Jazzmaster, and everybody had awesome instruments.
You know why I said what I said?
No,
because it's easier on me.
It's easier on you.
Tellies are easier.
Jeff Childs gave us $5 for the beer fund. Thank you, Jeff.
Friend Stu Lipa brought us a bunch of beer this last week. So
yes, he did, and I think he drank it all.
No.
Okay. So anyway,
Steve's pacing around like a racehorse.
He's kind of like a shark. I think that if he he doesn't realize we have the whole hour. And once he comes and sits in that seat, it's just going to be me yelling at the camera. And he's going to go, God, why wouldn't he shut up? But that's the way I do it. So anyhow, we do have Steve from Maximum Guitar Works here in the studio. I say that because I've been making videos where either it's in the wood shop, and people are like, it's so echoey in there. I can't echo. And I'm like, you know why? Because this is a working guitar shop. It's not a sound stage somewhere with a bunch of planes and hand tools in the back to look cute.
If all your tools are on the wall behind you, chances are you have you're a YouTube guy who makes YouTube videos. Yeah, you're a YouTuber.
You don't have a shop where you make stuff all the time. Correct. I'm not disparaging anyone who has that, but you might as well have a green screen of your, I could have that. That would be a funny green screen. All right, let's see. We have another one here. Carl Ingstrom says, AT&T broadband and tether down here, but I got beer. Here's for your beer. God bless you, Carl. Thanks so much, man. I hope that everybody who's in the southern part of the United States is weathering whatever storms are going on down there. Do you know, Steve, is it getting bad down there?
I haven't been following it.
Okay, well, I know that there's that like Doug. I think Doug's playing golf, so he's probably doing okay. But yeah, Carl might be in the middle.
It's going to come down for a little while.
I'd keep playing.
So
I'm going to send out a mailer with some of the new Dylan stuff.
We like
Dave,
to send out mailers.
I do. Dave, if you're watching, and I think you are, I think I've seen you floating around here. I got your email, and I got you sorted out, man. So we'll be in touch shortly. John, if you're watching, I know I already sent you an email, but your guitar is getting boxed up tomorrow and shipped out to you. So much cool stuff happening here in the shop. But Chris, tell me why you are so excited to have Steve from Maximum Guitar Works here today.
Because Steve always brings lots of cool stuff to show off.
Steve has some super cool guitar building tools.
Yeah.
And when he walked in, I'm like, these are all really cool, Steve, but can people buy them right now? He said, yeah, absolutely. So that's not his? Well, that is his, but I don't think that's any different than
Is that yours? Yeah, it is.
It's my personal one.
Okay.
Yeah. You know how many of those we have?
Come prepared.
Yeah. That you don't spoil it. Why are you spoiling it?
That's nice.
Tom L says, can you give some details on that bridge and trim on that Modern from Friday? It's badass. The Mosrite.
Oh, is he talking about that?
The Mosrite from Friday.
From this Friday?
But he said Modern. Yeah.
Yeah. That was we got those parts from a place called Performance Music Company on Reverb and eBay. Just type in Mosrite trim and they will pop up.
That's right. On eBay, not Amazon.
Correct. I think he sells them on Amazon too.
No, I couldn't find it.
Oh, really?
But okay, I could have been
Reverb and eBay, Mosrite trim.
Let's say he was talking about the Marauder.
Those plates are made by Faction, and the tremolo guts were Fender American Vintage reissue.
All right, now let's say he was talking about the Modern. That's just a stop tail and tune-o-matic.
He was talking about the Mosrite.
Okay.
The Mosrite? Right. Okay, yeah.
Dastardly Dave says 10-4. God bless you, Dave. I will be in touch very soon. Greg Pearl just finished building a pin router, not nearly as good as the beloved, but it works. Greg, I want to see pictures of that.
Me too.
Please, 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 Greg, send me pictures of your shop-built pin router.
Yep.
I want to see
Still
it.
have all of these, Greg? He had them all when he left.
Oh, yeah.
I want to
Okay.
know how many rolls of duct tape.
How much baling wire? Mrs. Toast wants to know how much duct tape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do Greg like that.
And JB Weld, yeah. Don't do the man like that.
He's a machinist. He's a guy.
Have we gotten done with
He
all
knows.
of the
I
admin
think
things?
So. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna scooch around
Steve's
here,
over
and
here like-
Steve's gonna come in. While Steve's coming up, I want to thank all of our sponsors. Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. Guys, when you're in the Denver area, please check out Flipside Music. Tell Ike and Dylan and Nico and MJ and all the other guys there, the guy with the tattoo and the guy with the hair, that the guys from Flipside sent you. Chris, you need to scooch in, buddy.
Yeah.
And
Flipside sent them?
huh? No, tell them the guys from
You need to
Texas
scooch
Toast
in,
sent you.
Matt.
And give Ike a big kiss on his bald head, because that's what he likes. I'd also like to thank Todd from SweetT Guitars. Todd, I know that if you are watching, you will want to know, because I should have told you already, but I got so bogged down. We got the paint finally. So Rod H., your paint is here.
Mhm.
And Todd, all of the paint that you sent us finally arrived. Our delivery guy was like, "Yeah, I don't know what he's worried about." Hey, yeah.
And we tried.
He's sort of like the guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't know what you guys are worried about. We're professionals. Yeah.
And we used some of the pearl powder.
That's
yesterday,
right.
and
Yeah.
it works
It's
awesome. We used it
awesome,
in,
awesome
epoxy,
stuff. Yeah.
and it looks really, really cool.
I'd like to thank Dan and Calvin at Guitar Wood Experts. When you guys are looking for swamp ash or really any wood that you want to build your guitar with, contact Dan. Link in the description below to a discount code. Oh, by the way, SweetT Guitars, if you want cool colors, Todd can help you out, and he will mix it for you custom. Send him an email. He's mixing some stuff for you, isn't he, Steve?
He is.
Outstanding. And finally, last but not least, our favorite sponsors. No, they're not our favorites. All of our sponsors are wonderful, wonderful people.
The only people we really like. This whole
John,
thing.
John and Cheryl from Bitterroot Guitars. Link in the description below for a coupon code from them. If you're not buying stuff from Bitterroot Guitars, guys, you're doing it wrong. They're very, very cool people, and if they don't have it, I bet you they'll get it for you. So anyway, so we got Steve here from Maximum Guitars. Hold on, we got a couple of quick things we got to sort out here. Super chat from Paul. Paul says, hope to see you and Dylan in May. I hope to see you there too, Paul. Those are going to be super, super cool classes. Steve, do you do any pickup winding yourself?
I do not.
Okay. I don't either. Why do you not wind your own pickups?
I don't, because I only have so much brain power, and I focus that brain power in other areas.
Okay.
And let people who focus in that area be an expert of that area.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Dylan has probably forgotten more about winding pickups in the last 10 minutes than I'm ever going to know at this point. So if you want to learn from the guy who knows lots and lots and lots of good stuff about winding pickups, I could learn how to do it maybe, but I'm not the guy to teach how to do it. Dylan, on the other hand, is that guy. So anyway, guys, to my left, your right is Steve from Maximum Guitars.
Hello.
And then all the way over there, like a redheaded stepchild, is Chris Fett. You want to let's scoot over.
I'm fine with being right here on the corner.
Are you sure you look like you're really unhappy and little right now?
You think I look little?
Yeah, you look like you're really like now. You're not
Coming
even in
out
the
his chest.
thing. Okay, all right. Oh, so
It's all good.
Chris, are you okay?
I'm perfectly happy over here.
So guys,
Glad to be a part of this.
anybody
Thanks for
says
inviting
anything,
me.
I'm going to be like, look, I asked Chris if he was, and so yeah, don't give me a bunch of shit for it. But yeah,
I'm okay too, man.
no one cares what you're doing. So no, I'm glad you're here, Steve. Yeah.
Although I am feeling a little bit like a Maximum Toast sandwich.
Well, we wanted to get you in so your bookended
Yeah.
by us, the Maximum Toast sandwich.
Are you guys gonna like Night at the Roxbury him?
Maybe we'll get on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Steve, somebody the other day,
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. Do you know who it was?
It was Jeff.
Jeff Child.
Yep.
Okay. Jeff asked, hey, when are you going to start pushing Steve's guitar building templates? And I said, huh? Because I had no idea that you were offering what I'm guessing are the same template sets that you've been using at at your class at Red Rocks Community. Now, before we get too far down the path, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and why you do it and where you start or what you start with?
Okay, well, when I was 2 years old, are we going back that far?
Yeah, we only got a few minutes
about
here.
the night you were conceived.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't worry, Steve. I'll
Teddy
push
bear
it.
named
I barely
Elmer.
remember that.
I'll kick you along.
Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, I teach electric guitar building at a local community college here in Colorado, and it really gives me an opportunity to kind of share the things that I've learned and develop, over the time that I've been learning and continue to learn to build guitars. And it's just something I became passionate about. I didn't really mean to, but it just developed my lifelong passion of woodworking, kind of melded with my my interest in guitars in general and music and stuff like that. And it just kind of took off. And I realized pretty quickly that I'm much more suited for guitar building than guitar playing.
Okay. So yeah, that's a fairly
there.
constant refrain with guitar makers is we enjoy the creative process of building instruments more at this stage than we do playing guitars. So yeah.
So I mean that's what I do. So I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, some may know and some may not. But and I do heavily teaching of very elementary stuff. Almost mimics what I teach in a beginner's electric guitar building class at the school.
Some of your videos were even, I don't know if they're still up, but you used to do like the whole build all the way through, like many parts.
Yeah.
And wasn't that for the class though? And
what I did was I did a tele series because when I took over teaching this class a few years ago, what I decided was I felt like one of the shortcomings in my learning progression was I didn't learn the foundational building skills first.
Okay.
So I kind of changed the curriculum to force the students to have to build a Tele or a Stratocaster style guitar. It can mix up, a little different headstock shape, different pickups, whatever.
and we're going to come back to that here in a little bit because that's an important facet of what I want to talk about tonight.
Yeah. And so basically I went there, and honestly, before I started teaching it, I had never built a Stratocaster style guitar. I hadn't done it because my philosophy before then was always, I don't want to mimic somebody else. I want to be my own builder. And then other influences kind of changed my mind on that. And I required the students to do it. So that's what I have a Telecaster series that I did to accompany what I teach in class to the students that they can refer back to during the course of the 4-month progression that we're doing this semester of schooling.
So it's a full semester long. Okay.
Yep. It's about 10 hours a week.
Okay.
So it's pretty lengthy, especially, because we're covering a lot of detail. Everything is done from scratch.
Okay.
So there's nothing, not even pick guards are pre-purchased.
Cool.
So everything is being done, in-house.
And you've brought a selection of tools that I didn't know you were doing. Some of them I had seen maybe some prototypes a few years ago when I came out to your class, and some other stuff that I have no idea you were doing, and you brought it out to show us. But before we get to those though, Doug says, "Hey, kiss my ash." I'm watching from the golf course. So Doug
is playing golf.
Yes, Doug is playing golf. He's multitasking. I'm looking forward to seeing the Dangerous Brothers out here in November. I'm looking forward to everybody coming to classes. How do you feel when you started? You don't have any classes this summer, but you're getting ready in the fall, right? You're going to gear up, and what's that like when you first day? Are you like, oh, here we go again, or do you know some of these guys from before, right? Yeah.
Well, this semester I'm teaching an advanced class, so we're going to get into other things this semester: set necks, carb tops, things like that. I try to show other advanced wiring and working with stainless steel fret wire.
Okay.
Where in the first class, I may show it to them, but I say, I really don't recommend you do this on your first guitar.
Yeah.
You'll just hate it so much that you may not build another guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that. So it's going to get a little bit different. So some of the students, based on what you said, are going to carry over. In fact, pretty much all of them are carryovers because they have to take the 101 basically first.
The woodworking component, right?
The woodworking, and then the basic electric guitar building, and then advanced electric guitar building if they choose to. So it's
outstanding.
How many students do you typically have?
Typically, it's around 15.
Okay. Are you the only instructor?
Yes, although in the past I've had a couple teacher assistants,
Okay.
Kind of helping me with that,
Mhm.
one or two.
Well, one time I was there for
Right.
an afternoon.
He was
Yeah.
he was an unpaid official TA
Yeah.
for one day.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. Is
Yeah.
it true that you spent over a decade as a cage fighter in the octagon?
It's almost true, except for
It's 11 years.
except for the cage fighting and the octagon thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But all that other stuff is 100% correct. So, Steve, and you are building basically a factory. You have a factory that you are making for Maximum Guitars, right? I mean, I already know. I said
Yeah.
right because I'm hoping that you'll just go, yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
But how else would you describe it? I mean,
I stopped calling it a shop,
it's far from a shop. If
and-
you have a break room, it's not a shop.
and I call it a
Receiving?
Yeah, shipping and receiving,
production
roll-up door.
facility.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Facility. Yeah.
If you have a catwalk where you can like watch everybody at the thing, you don't have a shop anymore.
Matt and I feel like we should have some say in it because eventually we'll work there.
We'll probably have to work for Steve one day. Yeah. So
He might not want us. Yeah. Did you see the response?
yeah. Yeah. So
Total enthusiasm.
total
You
enthusiasm.
misread it.
Misread.
Maximum
Gonna put up with
enthusiasm.
these guys every day. Forget that. Hey, did I tell you I'm selling my house?
So no, but you and I were talking. You've sent me pictures and stuff of the production facility factory, and it's awesome, man. You've got like, how many square feet is it?
Well, it's a lot.
Do you know how many square feet that is? A lot.
Okay, all right.
Okay, it's 5,000.
That's a little bigger than a shop, Steve. But yeah, okay.
But we're still developing it. I'm about 95% there. I haven't really released much information.
Okay, all right. So
on
this
it.
is on the this is the QT. Okay,
So, but
Okay, nobody watches this thing.
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
right.
yeah. What do you have? About 1 million people?
No.
Right now?
We have 153. Jeff says, heck, the episode with Matt and Steve shaping necks is legendary. That was a fun video.
That was fun.
That was when I went to your shop.
Yeah, that was a shop.
This was a couple of shops ago, I think, and we had a good time that day. But yeah, so
Yeah.
now you're building a really is a production facility or factory, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and it's growing, it's developing. Right now, I'm keeping the focus on, what I teach for the students. So therefore,
Yeah.
I use the tools that the students have available to them at the school and in my videos. Sometimes some people think I should dumb it down even more than that and do everything, with an X-Acto blade and,
I love that when
Dremel
people are like,
tool?
all I have is a
Um,
Dremel. What am I supposed to do?
yeah.
Buy more tools?
But but I don't show at least this point of doing the automation,
Yeah.
stuff that I have the capability for. Not much. I've shown maybe a few things here and there, but at some point at the school, I intend, when I free up some time by releasing my other life, I will probably get involved in developing a third generation of electric guitar building that incorporates CNC technologies.
Cool. Oh, for a school?
For the school.
Okay. So you touched on something. People are always like, "Hey, what do I do if all I have is whatever I have, and I'm in my kitchen?" You brought some really neat looking tools and jigs and fixtures to help the first time or the veteran guitar maker.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of this stuff, and I'm gonna ask right up front: are these things available right now?
Yes, all of my tools and templates that I currently manufacture,
Okay.
I make them to order.
Okay.
So you order it, and I typically say, give me 7 days to ship it out.
That's pretty good.
And I can kind of keep that flow going.
And if you want to reach out to Steve and have him make you one of these things we're about to show you, link in the description below to Maximum Guitar Works, and you can email Steve and he can get you fixed up. So let's jump in. Let's show us what you got here.
Let's start talking about the templates. Hand the block of wood first with just that template, maybe.
How about if I just hand you this?
The whole shooting
How about you
match.
hand me the whole thing?
only way
first?
it's going to move.
Okay. All right, that's good.
So this template set is pretty sophisticated.
It is, and I really want to tell folks why I
knew you would.
I developed something that was a little bit different than what you find out there.
Okay.
All right. And I was mentioning it to Matt and Chris earlier, but one of my single biggest fears as a teacher of electric guitar building is in the workshop, the power tools, specifically anything with a rotation to it.
Oh yeah, anything with a cutting head and not an abrading head.
Yeah. So like the table router, for instance. So,
I think the table router might be one of the most dangerous tools because it lures you into thinking
everything's going good.
Safe. Yep. And goes from 0 to 360 really, really fast. The other thing is usually a table router is not powerful enough for what some guys try to make it do. All right.
Exactly. So what I used to have is every time I would hear the table router in the shop area get turned on, I would have this kind of fear on me until I heard it get turned off. And hopefully in that time, I didn't hear any thunk.
Yep.
Where something's flying across the room or out of somebody's hand. And fortunately, there's been no injuries in the several years I've been teaching this class.
That's outstanding.
But about a year ago now, I designed something totally different based upon that fear of wanting to protect and keep the students safe.
Well, let's get to it. What do we
got? So what I did was I re-engineered my templates for two things. Number one is, and I'll just show the safety aspect first. I designed these quarter-inch acrylic templates, okay, with threaded inserts melted into the acrylic, and it allows us to install these handle grips,
which are really, really, they're a game changer when it comes to
it. And the thing about it is I told you this earlier, but I got this idea from watching one of your videos, and I can't really look at it now.
You're on the spot.
One of the videos you had working with your shaper.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're using a big thick template, and you've got handles that are just mounted to it, right?
Yep.
And when I saw that, that's when the bell went off for my students. I was thinking, that's what we need. We need something to keep their hands.
Yeah. Keep your hands from the sides. Because you can get sucked in or whipped around and Yeah. And if that happens with these handles, it's a bummer and it's heart racing.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of an injury is greatly reduced.
I need downward force.
Yeah, exactly.
This stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the pick guards or like the spookiest things usually people try to make because they're like and it's
little
just
things.
Yeah.
So anyway, by the threaded handle grips that are right in there, and my templates come with those, so that there's no sourcing of something separate and then trying to make it work. It all comes as a system. So you can rotate and move these as you're cutting. Obviously, bandsaw cut it as close as you can to the line, and then so you're only routing a little bit. But now you can have the control there, and you can move them for the best grip. And what I found is not only is it safer for them, but the increase in positive control that they have is now the cuts are smoother, and I'm hearing a lot less chip out or blowout.
Somebody actually asked earlier about your water technique on the end grain.
Yeah.
And they said that they really liked that. It worked great. I can't remember who it was.
Roasted maple.
I apologize. Yeah. How do you think that would work on roasted maple? And I'm going to give you a chance to answer that.
Yeah, I would say not. Because the roasting process molecularly changed the cell structure and it doesn't accept the moisture the same way. You can try it and it's not going to hurt anything. But that's a technique that, I use because I was really having trouble with the headstock area. The true fix to that is slow, easy, constant contact with the bearing and the template, and having a good sharp bit.
And a big diameter, I think, is critical to the, that's just me.
So that helps. And the water thing is a technique. If you're really nervous, it's not going to hurt anything one way or another. And you could do it as a precaution. But if all your other tools and your techniques are good, you shouldn't have to even go that route.
So if you try it and it doesn't work, don't blame Steve.
No, blame Chris.
Sure, why not? I could use some blame. I don't read comments. What do I care?
All right. So Steve, you've got a your template is mounted to this is one of the first ones you would use.
Yeah.
And you've got a fairly ingenious kind of locating system here, which is pretty neat.
Yeah. So here's the second thing that I kind of developed with this process is instead of having the locator pins located somewhere inside of something that is going to be carved out later, routed out later, I figured I would make them off body, and then it wouldn't matter if I routed this first or the perimeter first.
That's
neat. The order of operation doesn't matter.
Okay, I like that idea. Yeah.
So in this case, I've got these hardened steel drilling bushings that I had to custom order in order to get the height no higher than the thickness of the acrylic, and I have those mounted in very strategic locations. My choice of location just happened to be where the buttons are going to be installed.
Okay.
And it's just I had to standardize on something, and I figure all guitars have 2 buttons, so it seemed like a good place to go.
Makes sense, right? Yeah, why not?
You know, and so I did that. Now, once they go on, and let's say I've got this all profile cut out, I've got my cavities all cut out, and now I need to
dig what. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hand me that one back again, somebody,
Sure.
please. Get a load of what Steve did here. This is fairly ingenious, and not everyone thinks of this. Chris does because he's super smart. When you do a Strat, this part here has to come lower than this part, and it goes into the cavity that will be for the recess for your knobs and switch. So see how he went deeper here. That is a very cool thing. I hope that you can see that in the maybe there you go. Okay, so see how this the bridge pickup goes quite a bit further in than the other two. All right. Okay. Thank you.
And so now we have this neck pocket template that also has the electronics cavity on it.
So you can make this the same depth.
Yep.
You can make that the right depth. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And now with no double stick tape at all, this slides on. There is no movement side to side, front to back whatsoever, and it is perfectly in the center line every single time without guessing.
Let's see if we can get that in. Yeah, that is very, very clever. I should have come up with something like that.
You're getting reflections.
Is that any better? Okay. Outstanding. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So that is the beauty of the alignment pins, is it allows you to switch back and forth, you know, from one to the other, and you can do them in any order that you want. Now, from this point, let's say we want to now connect the back tremolo cavity to that. All I have to do.
Can I ask what trem is that set up? Was that optimized for the Hipshot one?
It's pretty much standard Fender specs.
Okay.
It's nothing unusual there. I'm looking for just something to help me. Normally I have my little punch. But
okay.
Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tap these.
Just tap it in.
Tap it in.
Yeah. Now flip it over to the back.
Okay.
And if I then take this and lay this back on and push these now all the way back down.
Cool.
What I've done is I've done a perfect alignment, not only on the front center line, but that totally aligns it with the back center line too.
Excellent.
So when I move to this, there's no concern about placement this way or this way. It is at the exact spot that it needs to be once you're finished with the front.
Well, I'm sold. So, Steve, these what do you have these available for right now?
So in the Strat series, which is actually a series I'm teaching on my YouTube channel right now.
Okay.
I'm going through the entire series, and this is a 7-piece set that sells for $295 plus shipping. Includes the Stratocaster. This one has my headstock, but the Stratocaster also neck with the same alignment pin system that does the exact same thing. It just keeps the placement.
Okay, so if you're gonna make Strats, this is the ultimate template set.
Yeah.
Well, you have anything else besides Strats, or is it just Strats right now?
I have a full set of tellies. I've also got a rear cavity version of a Strat and a telly.
Oh, neat. Okay.
So if somebody wants a fully figured top, we can do rear cavities on a different template sets.
Let me ask you this: if I were to go, hey Steve, I want to buy the telly set, can I get it? And then I want to buy the rear route set later. Can I get just the rear route stuff?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep,
okay.
There's intercompatibility between all of these of the same, obviously, line of guitar.
Here. Okay, I don't know why I think this is a critical one. Is this rear pin here the same on the Strat and the telly? So could no, there's no way you could make the neck be you couldn't put this trim unit, you couldn't mix and match with the, I want to put this trim on the telly by using this pin. You could, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
No, okay, all right. As I was saying it,
but I do have a telly version that's designed for a tremolo.
Oh, really? So, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay.
So here's the point. What I figured out is a lot of this stuff is I can adapt it pretty easily. And some of my adaptations come from people requesting something.
Okay.
Okay. And if they request something, I say, yeah, I can do that. And sometimes I'll charge them a fee if it's a very specific thing. But if it's something that that I think would be marketable and that other people would want, then I'll just absorb the R&D because I know a lot of people are probably going to buy it.
So if you guys have any cool ideas for Steve, you should send him an email, right, Steve? Is that okay? Cool.
Yeah. And some things, it's like, yeah, I can do that pretty easily. Some things I can do that, but it's just going to take me time to figure out everything and make sure dimensionally everything is precise.
Okay. Now, okay, I want to know not because I want to be the total cheapskate. Would it be less to have these made with MDF than it would with acrylic? The reason I want to know is on my pin router, if I use acrylic, it'll get all scratched all the hell anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, maybe it should be. What if we had acrylic templates, Chris? Would that be better or worse? I guess probably the acrylic is going to last longer.
Yeah, it'll last longer. You won't be able to read all the cool writing on it.
Yeah,
it lasts longer than you think because this is all laser etched, and that's the other thing I do is I put dimensional figures because here's what happened is in class,
that's a good idea. Yeah,
in class I couldn't tell you how many times I'd be asked the question how deep's the neck pocket supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
And finally I said, you know what, I'm going to engrave it on every single template.
All right, I have
625.
That's what we use.
Yeah.
I have one more question. If I gave you a Challenger template, could you make a set of these for me?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. It's it's easy. It's just everything just takes a little bit of time, but everything is possible. So
you're setting up Maximum Guitars right now to do. You're going to be doing a lot of work for other companies, right? Like, so if we said, hey, Steve, we need you to resaw a bunch of maple for us, that's one of the things you're going to be.
Yeah, there's other guitar builders that I'm making these templates for because of the unique qualities of the way I'm doing it.
Can you name any names?
I can. ASA Guitars.
Okay.
SweetT.
Okay.
Would be another one.
All right. That guy's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know ASA Guitars, but yeah.
You do.
I do?
Mike. Mike, you know him. He's on here all the time. Mike, make a post.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah. And there's other companies that I'm doing. They're all smaller builders, because this is the way you do it, when you're working out of a shop. The template is most consistent way.
Yep.
As Mike calls it, he calls it as close as you're going to get to a CNC, a manual CNC is a template system with alignment structure like what I've got here.
And as you know, Steve, there are CNCs and then there are CNCs.
There he is.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. Okay. Duh. Okay.
Mike.
Yeah. So like your CNC machine is worlds away from our CNC machine, which is worlds away from a homemade plywood CNC machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in terms of speed, no small CNC machine, I don't care whose small CNC machine it is, can keep up with an industrial pin router. No way in hell.
Yeah, and some things I'm using the CNC router, and some things I'm using the CNC laser. These are all cut out on the laser because it's just a more efficient process for acrylic.
Freaking laser. What else you got, Steve? Because these are cool. I want a set of these.
All right. We'll talk about that later. Let's move these out of the way.
I want a set because I want people to, when they come to one of our Build a Classic Fender classes, to have access to that. I think that's really cool.
Let me just grab this one just before we wrap up the templates. This was another request I got.
Show it off.
This way. Okay, so this is a jig I've been making for a while. It's called an auto alignment fret slotting system. So if you're using a saw, whether it be table or radial arm saw like Matt and Chris use, either one is going to have a pin locator, and then this will do the standard fret slotting like you're used to, except this is designed to work with my template system, and it's got the same alignment pin holes, so you do not have to square it up to this edge.
Wicked awesome.
Without jointing that fretboard blank, you could just lay it on top of here, drill your alignment pin holes, fret slot it, and it's already locked into position.
Okay.
So it's a no-brainer. Anyway, this one was a gentleman that asked me, I said, I'm using the StuMac, miter box fret sliding saw.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling
So
me.
he sent me the specifications of the offset to the pin and the thickness of the miter box that it would fit in there. And I basically created that for him, but now made it available to everybody else now that the R&D is already done.
Okay. So you can just buy this template
and use it with the stock StuMac miter box. And it will be, as long as you're using my template system, it will be auto alignment.
Can you buy the neck template system by
Separate.
itself?
Yep.
Okay. What does that go for?
The neck is 40. The fretboard is 40. Typically, you
Guys,
can do
that
both.
is a no-brainer, because if you're going to get something dorked up on the neck, it's going to be fret slots.
Yeah.
And you've got like a truss rod thing with that too.
As far as join the channel.
Yeah. Is that part of the truss rod deal or no?
Yeah,
Well, that has to be your truss rod. So
here's the thing. Okay, I won't go into it, but
well, the reason I ask is that, my friend Paul is coming from Texas next week, and one of the things he wants to work on is necks using tools that he has.
Yeah.
Or that he can easily source.
Okay.
So I want to have something that I can.
One of your big fans, Jeff Childs. He asked me to build that exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I built it for him. He owns it right now. He has it in his possession.
Okay.
But I haven't validated it well enough to really release it.
Okay. Well, I know a guy who is in Texas who's going to want something not unlike that. And when he's here on the 19th, maybe we can convince him to get with you on that. Yeah. So, Steve, we got a few more minutes here before we want to move to our next thing we want to talk about. But what else you got?
All right, let's go into this. This was another request I had, actually from SweetT, to make him a couple radius blocks. And I kind of put it off for a while, thinking it's not a big deal. But then I decided, what the heck? I mean, let me see what I can do that's different. Number one, I had other folks. Mike, in fact, was asking me for a 24-inch radius block that is not available.
Okay.
Under the normal channel. So I said, well, what if I made a 24-inch one in any radius possible? But I drew a line on there with the laser so that you could actually cut that with your chop saw and have the standard 18 and a short little 6-inch of the exact same thing.
And you make these in any radius imaginable.
Any radius.
And what do these guys go for?
These are 75 for the double.
All right.
What I call 1+1.
That's cool, because you get two. You get one great big one, or you get a what is it? An 18 or
6 and an 18. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So that from brand X, that would be way more than $75.
Yeah. And so you can see here how, I just kind of cut them down, and then you have your standard 18 and you got your 6-inch over there. This, let me see, which one?
My only thing is I would want mine to say, if you're so smart, build it yourself.
Well,
I'm sure you can do that too.
That
you can accommodate special requests.
Real quick, here's another variation that I made. I figured out that I can also.
This is the goddamnedest thing I've seen all day.
I can make a compound radius sanding beam.
I'm still wrapping my brain around
Okay.
this. Grab that thing down yonder.
All right. This is 10 by 16, and as long as you're doing like 1-inch strokes.
So it's 10 here,
yeah,
and it gradually turns to 16 here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And you can just take 1-inch strokes, and you can actually take that and you can work that down.
But Steve,
and get a
how in the
compound.
world would you make a bunch of one? I'm good at that.
It's like shake weight.
Yeah, it's like shake weight.
So what's this?
Okay.
This is the.
All right.
So
you can do it by hand, but what I figured is
you have to be as good as I
that's
am
not
at doing it.
good enough. Is I designed it to be compatible
This is the
with your
craziest thing.
standard off-the-shelf straight line sander.
Okay.
It's a pneumatic tool used in a lot of auto body shops, and it happens to have a 1-inch stroke.
Have you ever seen this rig?
I think I've seen it in action, but not in this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the bolts are for.
Yep.
Okay.
So all right. So you attach this contraption.
Yeah, you buy that.
To one of Steve's, and doesn't have to be the compound. It could be a
It
regular.
could be straight. Yep. Some people want a 12, so I made a 12 in this configuration where it bolts directly to there.
I kind of want to see this in action.
Well,
This lacks perspective.
it needs about.
If only we had a fretboard, what needed some radiusing?
Yeah. Do we have one? I'm sure we could just make one.
Let's use that epoxied one that's wrong.
Maybe we could just maybe we should do a. Steve, do you have a time to do a video of this
there is
before
one.
you leave. We won't do it live, but we'll release it this week.
I can certainly do that, and I do have one on my channel of this too.
Oh, okay.
But we can do another one.
So if you want to see it before we do one with Steve here in the shop,
so that's what it becomes. And I tell you have to mount.
You got to hold it like
you have to mount that neck really well. In my video, you actually see it broke free of the clamps because there's so much force. So you gotta mount it well. But once you do that, you put it down solid and you hold it solid. And once you press that, it's really doing a lot of the work.
So you just hold it down and it goes.
I sometimes move it side to side a little bit, but you don't want to go crazy because you don't want to round off the edges.
Okay.
So just maybe a little bit, but mainly I just hold pressure down and let that stroking action.
Why wouldn't you attach the fretboard with pins to a part of your table that has pins?
I do that. For hand sanding, if that's what you're talking about.
No. So let me see that fretboard there, Chris. Oh, this so these have this. Oh, the tape is concealing the pins,
keeping the pins in.
What if you had a bench that had the pins went into the bench and locked it on, and then you put this bad dog on there and did it?
You can do that, but I like to mount the fretboard to the neck blank first.
Yeah, I do too. Okay.
So that's the way I do it. So therefore, I mount the neck when it's all glued up, and then I do it.
I'm just thinking if you don't have that
neck.
Well, yeah, but if you don't have like a big radius rig, then this might be the hot ticket item.
Yeah,
I don't know how much this Ingersoll Rand inch sander.
This one was $95 on Amazon.
All right.
And you can get them in. I've seen them as little as $50, and I swear every one of them looks exactly the same. So they're all probably made in the same factory.
Brad Hutchings says, "I'm convinced you guys are making first contact with an alien guitar builder. This is awesome. 10 for the fun." God bless you, Brad.
That's just terrestrial technology, right?
All right. Before my section's up, that's
no. You have more section.
Yeah.
Where? What's my section?
You just used. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, this might be a custom one. Outstanding. Oh, check it out. This is cool. So, Steve, to Matt and Chris of Texas Toast, with love, Steve.
Does it actually say with love?
Yeah, of course it does. This is super cool. Thank you so much, Steve. Check it out, Chris.
You guys are 10-inch kind of guys, right?
We are 10-inch kind of guys.
Yeah,
maybe Chris will whip out his big 10-inch record.
Yeah. Cool, man.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. I want to have, like I say, I'm convinced. Like a lot of this stuff is super cool, and I want to get some of it. I want to get some templates. I want to get some things, and I encourage all of you guys to contact Steve at Maximum Guitar Works. Link in the description below. Steve will be able to help you get started with some really neat tools. And
the website's under construction at the moment, but send them an email.
No, it's not.
Oh,
did I put it in there wrong?
I thought you had the templates.
No, you said there's no
click to buy.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I was going to say, if you just looked it up and it's not working, it's like, I got to get
no,
my
the website's there, but it's not.
It's there.
Okay, so there's no click to buy because all this stuff is kind of
made to order.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so email the man.
And you're pretty fast too. It sounds like
I asked for
a week
7
or 10 days. Okay,
7 days.
That's totally.
Now I am going on a forced vacation at the end of this month. I
all right. Well,
earlier.
so yeah, there's nothing we can do about that, guys and ladies and gentlemen on the internet. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Carrie Ann. Oh, Ryan Ellis says, Steve, use the pneumatic delay to power an auto buckle rash guitar relic machine.
Really?
I think, wouldn't that be awesome? He wants you to come up with an automatic guitar relic machine.
Bolt a belt buckle to the back of this thing.
Yeah, Ryan, when you come out in December with your dad, we can have that ready for you.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we went way over, but I'm glad we did because there's so much neat stuff that Stevie brought to it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I wanted to have our panel of guitar makers, that would be Chris and Steve, answer is some of the pitfalls that first-time guitar makers run into, and some of the things that they can do to ensure success right from the get-go. So we'll run a little bit over an hour if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like we need a buzzer though.
No, we don't. We'll give you plenty of time.
Top 7 answers on the board.
That's right. Yeah. Do you want to pass or play?
Pass or play. Pass. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
So I'll start it off. That way I don't put everybody on the spot. Unless I'm
talking about.
Let's talk a little bit about some issues that people run into when they build their first guitar.
Okay.
And I want you guys to think about this while I'm gonna not take the lowest hanging fruit here. I think one of the problems is that people start like their very, very first guitar with super crazy figured woods.
Yeah.
Because they think this is going to be the greatest guitar the world has ever seen. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So while you guys are thinking about it, SS said, Matt, will you put your guitar templates up for sale when you and Chris wear them out? I'd like to hang them on my wall. SS, I'll just send you some of them. How about that?
Sign them.
Because SS designs our shirts for us.
He does.
Yeah.
Not this one, but other shirts.
So, Steve, do you want to pass or play?
Okay, so I'm going to play.
All right.
And this is just one that came to me as you were articulating that, based upon some of the students that I had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest that your first guitar build not be a headless fanfret.
Yeah. Okay. So we can distill that down to work with everybody. Yeah. So choose a sane guitar project to do first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was what you were probably going to say, right, Chris?
Headless fanfret?
Yeah. No, I was going to say the idea that you can fix it in the next step.
Oh, that's a good one. I thought you were going to say, if your first guitar isn't a Telecaster, you're doing it wrong.
Well, yeah, we've talked about
we've done that a bunch. Yeah.
But the idea that, I'll fix it later.
No.
I'm not going to worry about it. I'll fix it later. It always comes and bites you in the butt.
It's easier to start with excellence than it is to finish with excellence after you start with half-assedness. I don't know if that's
epoxy.
I'm not sure. Yeah. To fill it with pooty later. Yeah.
The other one that I always, because I did it myself, is think that I'm going to buy, and this goes along with the really fancy wood, but really fancy hardware.
Yeah.
Thinking that's going to make up maybe for some pitfalls of the guitar. And usually what happens is the person goes, at least I did, went, oh, the guitar's not quite as good as I was hoping it was going to be, but I sure did spend a lot of money on parts.
But I got this killer hardware, and sometimes people are tempted to go, I'm going to take all that killer hardware off and make another guitar, and then you have this kind of thing. That's
The other thing is I have my students do is when they're building their first neck is they have to build a test neck out of like poplar first. Okay. And what I'm asking them to do is prove your technique. If what you do on that neck works, then move on to your nice maple neck.
Okay. That's a great idea. Yeah. Have like a test bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think, Steve, about the idea of guys who go, I want to build a headless fanfret, yada, yada, yada. But you could even say, well, what about a Les Paul carved top? That's a classic thing. Why don't I make that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an absurd guitar to start with. It looks like Jeff Child says, hey, is the fret organizer another new item for sale? Send me an invoice.
This is the sexiest fret holder you'll ever see, I think.
I can't move the thing.
I had like too much time when I developed that, but yeah, you can make me some of those.
So how do you feel about, like, what do you think your first, if you've never made a guitar before and you want to kind of get into building instruments, what do you think the ideal guitar for someone to make first is?
Well, it's like I said for my students in the class, I require a Tele or a Strat for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And, like Chris just said, I mean, Tele is really a safe place to start.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's limited. There's so many different pickup combinations.
People get bummed out by the safe choice, but they don't think that if you go to a restaurant, the burger and fries are usually a safe bet because it's cool, it's classic, it's good, and it doesn't need to have shiitake mushrooms all over it to be something tasty. A Tele is always going to be cool, even a basic one.
Yeah.
Sometimes the more basic, the better, I think.
It's the fundamentals that you learn there.
Yeah, and it lends itself to lots of different finish choices that can sometimes be a struggle.
Yeah.
And it aligns itself. So if you miss some steps or you forget, center lines and things like that, it sort of aligns as you go. There's a lot of flat edges on that guitar that are still 90 degrees that things just sort of stack together and
Mike says that Telly is the Chevy 350 of guitars.
It really
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
It really is.
JC says, if I was going to build a Les Paul style guitar, I'd definitely do a flat top LP first, then go carved top for next time. The flat top Les Paul is certainly easier to do than the carved top because there's fewer planes.
Yeah.
SS says, Telly's and Strats, man, they'll never not be cool. It's like T-shirts and jeans. They're always going to be cool.
So one of the funny things I think about the difference between a Telly and a Strat body probably has double the amount of work in it. Don't you think?
All the curves.
With all the carves and the back routing, you have a whole other set of templates to deal with, and a couple of different depths there. And as similar as those two guitars are, a Strat is double the work for the body.
Yeah. And more potential for error unless you have the Maximum Guitar Works templates.
Well, and even
then, I was going with this whole thing, Steve. Yep. You're welcome.
You're the old soft pitch.
Hit this one. I'll just hold it here.
Oh, I was trying not to make that so obvious.
Are there any more things that you think that the budding guitar builder should consider?
I think give yourself a break. If you fuck something up, be okay with that and learn from those mistakes and move on.
Sometimes we call that fail quickly.
Don't get down on yourself.
And sometimes it's like it's the temptation is to try and fix it, and sometimes just shit can it and cut it in half and start again, because fixing something is a way different deal than building something.
Yeah, the first time you used a spoon all by yourself, you got your shirt all
all ticked up. Steve, what are your parting words for first-time guitar builders?
Take it slow, do your research, get your education, have a clear vision in mind before you get going of each step of the way. There's no rush to get in there and cut something out. You're just going to make a mistake.
But that's something that people do a lot. I can't wait to start cutting.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things I always talk about is how beneficial a full-size drawing is. And you can revert back to it. And I've done it before. And I'm sure you guys have too, full-size drawing, and that gets screwed up. And I'm like, how is my 23rd fret completely in a different spot? And I look at my drawing. Oh, because you drew it wrong. And so it can happen. But so like Steve said, go slow and plan your work your plan. And I like the idea of the do it a poplar, cheapo poplar neck or 2x4 neck or whatever it is. And kind of make sure you figure out where the tool's going to go. And before you get into the good stuff.
Prove your skills.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well, Steve, I would like to personally thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. I know it was kind of short notice, but thanks for trekking over. I know you got a bunch of stuff going on and showing us all of this really cool, super awesome stuff. I hope that people contact you. Guys, link in the description below to Steve. If you want to send him a message, get some of these cool radius blocks. He said he can make you one of these bad dudes. Now there's no bottle opener on this, but I think you could add that later. All the template sets. I am dying to see that contraption in action. And I am going to do a video of it in action and post it later this week. If you can't wait, Steve's got one on his YouTube page right now. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to Steve's page, why not? Go over there right now and subscribe to Steve's page. I have encouraged you to do that in the past, and I hope that you will do that now. So, Steve, I'm going to give you the last word, which is something I never do. So take us home.
Well, I mean, I want to just thank both Matt and Chris here for what they do, because they do a lot of work in these videos, and I know how much work it is because I'm doing them.
Even though it sounds like shit.
And I'm fighting them. but they work hard to give everyone content and excitement about building guitar, and that it's fun, and it's just incredible what you guys are doing. And I appreciate it. And I watch you guys. I try to keep tabs on what's going on. And I appreciate you inviting me over here because it is pure fun. I'd be fine to do it more often. We work out the schedules, and someday we'll get you guys over to see the production facility.
It looks good. It looks good.
I'm going to claim my locker.
Are you going to pee in it or something?
Yeah, how are you going to do
I'm
that?
just going to write my name on masking tape and stick it to the outside.
Sure.
That's the way you do it.
All right, I know I said I was going to give you the last word, Steve, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for watching. This is Chris and Steve and Mrs. Toast, who always looks radiant. And Matt from Texas Toast Guitars, reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what we all did. We'll see you guys next time. Lots more videos coming at you. I hope everybody has a great week. We'll see you all real soon.